Hello and welcome to another episode of March 2, the pod presented by Eternal Roofing. Roofing you can trust with your home, just like you kind of trust us with your Bearkat sports. Season 3, Episode 5. We're talking about the ceiling, floor, and a reality check for Sam Houston in 2025. I'm your host, producer, and once banned but never muted, catfans.com member Cory Hogue. You can find me on your favorite social media channel at Cory Hogue Sports. It's all one word, Coryhogue Sports. As always, I'm joined by the wizard behind sports of SHSU. It's all one word on Twitter and Instagram. He's the COO of the Cat Fund, proud Bearkat alum, Ben Sorrells. And yesterday it went from like August to September, like in 24 hours here.
Yeah.
That was cool nuts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so crazy because it was like 100 degrees. And then yesterday, I was like, it's mid-September.
Well, it's starting to feel like it too with football being so close mentally.
Yes.
Feels like September almost.
Yeah, and I've had a little bit of a journey throughout this last couple of months of the off season, and there's a lot going on. Obviously, football season coming up. There's a lot of questions to be answered, rightly so. And one of those is about what my plans are for this season. I'm getting there. Not quite fully yet, but I'm close. I've got a book I'm reading. I'm going to finish it first, and then I'm going to work on a piece that will be posted probably to a Substack, and it'll explain what I'm doing for this football season and how it's going to go. I will tell you this much, Ben. In all of this journey, what I've really done is said, I'm going to take care of myself a little bit.
Yeah, just enjoy the season a little bit, right?
I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to take care of myself. Does that mean you won't see and hear me? No, probably not. Probably not.
Still going to be there to make you mad some way.
I'm still around to make you as mad as I can, and I've got some opinions that I want out too. That's another thing behind this. Like, some of that's coming, there's a fire behind it. There's a renewed feeling when you know that you don't have to rush things.
Yeah.
And
deadlines.
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going through that process of realizing I don't have to rush things. The process of what it's going to look like with me taking care of me. Here's the thing, man. I see myself as the laziest person on earth. And every time that's the reaction. I asked my wife last night, I was like, you think I'm lazy? She's like, what in the hell? But yesterday, like, my counselor was like, said something about lazy. I was like, I'm always lazy. I'm the laziest person I know. And he goes, if that ever happened, I would let you know.
Yeah, that's not the issue.
But that's me. That's a me thing that has nothing to do with anyone else. But that's some of the stuff I worked through. And part of that over the last 7 years with Dave Campbell's was that led to a lot of hours and not a lot of me time.
Yep.
So we're going to go and we're going to slow down just a little bit, but you're still probably going to get my unwanted opinion.
I'm here for it.
No, I know you are. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about everybody else. Are they here for that?
We'll see.
Hey,
We'll see after today.
oh, let me tell you, we got a show lined up for you today because we're going to give a ceiling, a floor, and what our actual predictions are for the 2025 Bearkats football season. I don't know. I got to tell you, I think this one's going to be one of those interesting episodes, Ben. I think.
Yeah.
I think interesting is the word to say.
And we've had some interesting ones.
Oh, we have. Thanks to me. We're going to talk about the ceiling, but first we're going to hear from our friends over at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing and General Contracting is your choice for integrity work in the Texas Hill Country. Taylor Andrus and crew provide experienced quality roofing services with a mission of roofing with faith, serving with integrity, and sheltering homes in the spirit of stewardship. Don't just take our word for it. Here's what satisfied customer Pamela Allen had to say about Eternal Roofing. They did a great job on our patio roof, came out quick for a quote. The quote was very reasonable, and they started and finished work well and quickly. Not a bad thing to say about Eternal Roofing. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email them taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
The season is upon us next week, Ben.
It is.
Next week. And hey, Bradley Franklin watching on Facebook said, let's go Cats, eat them up. Definitely. And that's what we're talking about today. How much would they eat them up in this segment for a ceiling? Now, this right here, I wanna break it down. This is if everything goes the Cats' way. If they finish in the top, but listen, last year there was a little luck involved in the 10 wins, right? They were top 15 in the amount of injuries. They weren't turning the ball over. They did a great job of getting turnovers. All of that happens again. Plus, the new offense clicks. The defense doesn't lose a step. That's what we're talking about here. So why not we get into this? First game up is Saturday at Western Kentucky. Best case scenario, Ben, I have a W.
Yeah, I've got it as a loss. I wouldn't say it takes a miracle to win this game, but I would say the odds are not in your favor. This is a really good Western Kentucky team. You had a really good team last year, and they just kind of punched you in the mouth at home. And I think this is a better team that they have this year. So I've got it down as a loss.
You know, I don't blame you for that. And I love Rick Bowie. I love Maverick McIver. Like I am really fond of the people they have up there at Western Kentucky, and I think they're a good team too. But I'm saying they've got questions as well. It's not just smooth coming into this season for them.
No, it's not always perfect.
And we don't know what's happened in camp. There are injuries in camp, and some of those can be pretty costly. You don't hear about them a whole lot, usually.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think the other factor, too, is you're on the road and you have one less week of preparation than a lot of other teams do with how much turnover you have, and I don't think that helps, especially on the defensive side.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying we're talking pie in the sky. Second game, they come home, they play UNLV on a Friday night. They get 6 days before they start their home opener at 8:30 p.m. Benjamin, I am not young enough for an 8:30 p.m. kick.
UNLV, they're in the mountain time zone, so they'll be used to 7:30. And the interesting thing with that is they've got a week 0 game against, I think it's Idaho State, so both teams will be coming off a 6-day week.
Dude, I would be in the stands needing coffee about the fourth quarter.
Well, that's definitely not the latest kick that you'll see this year, as you can tell.
Well, we're getting to more that or later, but on this one, I think. Listen, there are some games, and I think it's just right to say it. There are some games that it does not matter if everything goes right, Sam Houston's not going to win. There's a few of those on this schedule. And I think UNLV is one of them.
Yeah, it's probably the second best team in the Mountain West behind Boise State. I mean, maybe the third best team, but yeah, they're a team that could compete for the Group of Five spot in the playoff this year. I don't think they will, but if you told me they did, I wouldn't be too shocked.
All right, so now I'm at 1-1. You're at 0-2. So, and then they go on the road. They have an extra. They got an extra day. 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Dude, their nursing home closes before I get to that kickoff. Okay, I think I've got a curfew before that's allowed at Hawaii. You know what? We're talking pie in the sky. The Cats beat them last year. It happens again. Now they're 2-1.
Yeah, and I put this one as a loss too. I am just very concerned about our defense, and the Hawaii offense, I think, could be the surprise of the G5. They've got arguably the two top receivers in the G5 this year, so I'm just very concerned about that, the travel, and then the time of the game.
All right, so I'm going to ask you, because I think we pretty well know who we're picking on the fourth game. So,
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, of the first three, which one between WKU and Hawaii do you think, if by some chance they could win, they would get one of those, which one do you think is most likely?
Probably Hawaii. I mean, WKU is a better team than Hawaii. You kind of know what Hawaii brings. You played them last year, so I think you're closer to the talent that Hawaii has. I just think all the other factors that go into it and how you cover Pofele Ashlock and their receiving core is just a big concern. But if you can put up points against their defense, you got a shot. But yeah, I think Hawaii is probably the one that I would choose.
How long did it take you to know how to pronounce that name?
Not long, because he was really good last year. And Nick
You're good on names.
Yeah, both him and Nick Cynical last year had
I'm
over.
not that good with names. I'd be practicing that for 10 minutes.
Yeah, both him and Nick Cynical last year had over 700 yards and 5+ touchdowns apiece, and they both returned, and they were both underclassmen last year. So, I mean, they're going to be a problem on the outside.
Let me tell you, I'm buying in. I am buying in on this ceiling. Ceiling is my buy-in. This is when Corey's like, woo, here we go. So right now, let's go ahead and face it. The fourth game at Texas after a week off, the bye means absolutely nothing. Texas is going to win that game, and, we're watching it to see what the backups look.
Yeah, and just make sure we don't get hurt.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. Play it like an NFL preseason game.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Maybe play the starters a couple drives, get them out, right? You're going to need them, because coming up, the schedule gets pretty tough. So here we are, quarter of the way through. I'm buying the Cats on our ceiling predictions here. I got 2-2, and you're at 0-4.
Yeah. I could maybe get to 1-3. I couldn't go above 1-3, but if 1-3 happened, I wouldn't be too shocked, but I just really don't see it happening.
Jason, watch it on YouTube. Corey, can you put your signature on one of these predictions? It will never die.
It's got the Corey Hogue stamp of approval.
And it will never. Hey, I do want to. If we're going to talk about the signatures, right? I saw offer graphics that had his signature.
But that's not a big. They all do.
But no, that's the thing. That's where it goes. That's my point. That made sense. That I'm like, yeah, that's where you go. I just, it will never die, and I will always now look for a Phil Longo signature, just because it's become a bit at this point.
It has.
And it's a fun bit too. At that.
It'll never die.
It's a bit that will never go away. All right, 2-2, 0-4, and we go into October at New Mexico State. We start Conference USA. It's another Jesus Christ, another 8 p.m. game. I mean, man, I'm old. At New Mexico State, pie in the sky. They're 2-2. Yeah, I get it. The loss to Texas hurt, but we were used to that. Longo played it great. Nobody got hurt. or at least no one that was a starter got injured. And here we are, and you're heading into New Mexico State. You know what? You feel good about yourself. You come out with a victory.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because I mean, obviously the Texas game is going to take a lot out of you, but it's an extended week. You almost have 2 weeks off at that point. New Mexico State, who doesn't have a ton of talent, they returned a decent amount from last year, but a game you should probably win.
You're going to get me in trouble. You guys are. I'm telling you, Bradley Franklin says Cats After Dark. There's a lot of things I like after dark, Bradley, but Cats, it's not usually one that I'm picking. See, that's what I'm telling you. You're going to get me in trouble. All right. I got a W. You've got a W on that one.
Yep.
Oh, they're picking up steam, and they head into Jack State at home. They're coming into Houston. This is a Thursday game, October the 9th, 7 p.m. It's a normal start. I think, you know what? Jack State's got some questions, too.
Yeah,
They got plenty, and you know what? I could see the Cats winning that game, so I'm giving them that one on our season.
I will as well. So I've got them at 2 wins at that point. Jack State, a team that experiencing a similar amount of turnover that Sam Houston is. New head coach. Don't know how it's going to look exactly. But yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a win.
Yeah. And then we go to Wednesday, October 15th. Another day short. It's a 6 p.m. start. It's UTEP. It's at home. I've got this team at 4-2 coming into this game, and coming out, they're 1 win away from needing a bowl. They're 5-2 on this high in the sky ceiling prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I have it as a loss. It's a short week. Obviously, UTEP is on the road. But UTEP, the more I look into them, the more I hear about them, they kind of seem like our team last year where they're going to take that big jump up from the year before. I don't know. I've got it as a loss.
I have not shied away from saying what my expectations are for UTEP this year. I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to be much improved. But there's a note on this game that we're going to get to later that when we do our full actual predictions, not our pie in the sky or our oh my God, everything went down. When we get to our what we actually predict for this year, I got an interesting stat that pulled in, and it played with my head a little bit.
All right.
So after UTEP, you go to La Tech. I'm not joking. The first time I did this, I put Lady Texters as the logo. And then I figured that's probably not the best idea. So I took it off. But I just want to say I did.
I'm not surprised.
I'm sure you're not. You know what? They go to La Tech. The Lady Texters, they don't beat us anyway. That's another victory, and that is 6-2 and bowl eligible.
Yeah, well, and I put my picks in yesterday midday. There's been a little bit of intel come out of Louisiana Tech the last 24 hours that they still haven't decided on a quarterback. I thought Evan Bullock was going to be the guy, and he looked great last year, but they are not committing to him whatsoever, which gives me a little bit of pause on Louisiana Tech. So I'm going to flip that to a win for me, and that puts them at 3 wins at that point for me.
There you go. All right, we're going to flip it to a win for you there.
Yep.
Jason Plotkin said, and this is a great point here, the Jack State UTEP 2-game swing at home is going to make or break the season. Very likely. Very likely. It will. And I think that Louisiana Tech game is a big one, too. And listen, they have a lot of pressure.
Yeah, to win.
There's no pressure. How much pressure is really on Phil Longo this year?
Not a lot. I mean, people aren't going to be happy if you don't win, but the expectation isn't super high this year.
Pressure would go next year. This year, he's really not under. I'm sure he feels pressure. He would laugh if you. I'm sure he feels it, and good thing he does. But La Tech, they're under pressure, and when you get under pressure, I watched the F1 movie last Friday, Ben. I got inspired. I think I'm the next Max Verstappen. but they kept saying the same thing. It's an Army thing. It's a thing I read in time. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. When you are under pressure, the sphincter closes up a bit. And instead of going slow to smooth, you're trying to go way too fast.
Yeah,
You're trying
to
to
do too much.
And that is highly likely happening with Sonny Cumbie at La Tech.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a team that may have the most volatility. I mean, because if they find a rhythm early in the season, I think they've got some good talent. That defense is really good, but if things go south early, they fire the head coach, it could get really bad.
I agree. We're in the last quarter of the season. It's all November. Starts with a game. Jesus, blanking Nuggets, Ben, 9 p.m. Lord have mercy. Does anyone who makes these times appreciate the fact I have a bedtime?
They don't.
They don't. No, they don't care. They did not think about Corey Hogue. At Oregon State, and I got to say, this is the one game it doesn't matter. You're not winning that game, and you're not supposed to play it like another NFL preseason.
Yeah, no. And Oregon State's probably going to be pretty good. They got Malik Murphy over from Duke. I mean, they're going to look similar to how they did 2 years ago with DJ Uiagalelei when he was actually good. I think they're probably a 9-win team this year.
Yeah, so we both got that down as a loss, but here we go. Final 3 games of the season. Delaware at home. We're back to Saturdays, November 15th, noon start. Delaware. That's a victory, man. That team's going to be so beat up by that time, it's not even going to be funny.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially with the FCS to FBS call-up late in the season, depth is probably going to be depleted. This is the most winnable game on your schedule this year.
We saw this coming FCS to FBS a couple years ago. It's not pretty the first year.
Yep.
A lot of teams, it's not pretty the second year, but the Cats ain't a lot of teams. Next game is at Middle Tennessee. 2 p.m. Saturday, November 22nd. Now, I think it's important to remember last time the Cats played Middle Tennessee,
Oof.
at the end of that game, there was a little bit of
Extracurriculars.
They won't forget. But the Cats are like, we don't care, and they still win this game because it's our ceiling prediction. The brawl in the burrow, Jason Plotkin said. So I have a win. I have a win over Middle Tennessee here.
Yeah, I think so too. If we're talking ceiling, I think it is a win. A team that just really hasn't clicked the past few years. It's their third year with Vadiato at quarterback. He's been okay. If he doesn't reach his potential, I think it's a very winnable game. So I think if you're talking ceiling, it's definitely a game you could probably mark as a W.
Yeah, Justin Hernandez watching on YouTube says, hello from Augusta Pines Golf Club, which, I mean, that's a humble brag if I've ever heard one. How do y'all feel about not having a blackout game announced? Last year against La Tech, me and other students were so excited just to jump in, show up there in black. We talked about some of those last week, and that's probably one of those if you were to black out the stadium in downtown Houston, that would be cool, man.
Yeah, well, and I know Justin too, so shout out to Justin for tuning in. Yeah, the blackout game was...
Shout out to anyone tuning in, to anybody watching. Thank you or listening. Thank you. Just saying.
Yeah, the blackout thing, it's one of the easiest theme nights to do, and it usually goes over well no matter where you are, but we are one of the only schools without a black football jersey. Football's the only team on campus without a black jersey, so it's hard to lean into the theme when you don't have a black jersey.
And, it's like they're 20 years late on this trend because black jerseys have been a thing for a while now. The fact there's not a black and orange combo jersey to go with a black helmet with it's sad, Ben. It needs to happen.
It does, and it's unfortunately not going to, at least this year. There might be some new stuff this year, but not a black jersey.
Justin said he's trying to boost these podcast numbers. We appreciate it, man. And Josh, also watching on YouTube, said the only thing that would make the blackout better would be a black jersey. It's kind of a necessity, really.
You kind of need it to lean into it, yeah.
But I don't have that kind of money, and unless you do, then we're not going to get black jerseys. Hey, Josh, you will donate money? I think we could get a lot of people to donate money. Jeff Eichmann on Facebook says, eat 'em up, Cats. We agree. All right, heading back into the final game of the season. Ben, you have them at 5 wins.
I do coming into this one.
5 wins. And they're at home, noon kick against Florida International. I have it a win. I'm going to tell you, my pie in the sky, Sam Houston Bearkats are 9-3 this year, going bowling with a chance for back-to-back 10-win seasons. They're 8-0 Conference USA champions, too.
Yeah.
How about that? That's my pie in the sky. Ben, are they even making a bowl game on yours?
Yeah, I have them beating FIU with the ceiling, so I have them at 6-6. New head coach over there, Willie Simmons, he'll do a good job, but it's tough in year one to rebuild it, so don't know exactly what they'll look like, but in this scenario, it's a win, and they're 6-6 for my ceiling.
6-6 overall. You have them 6-2 in conference, and you know what? I think that's respectable if that were to play out.
Yeah, no, and I mean, depending on how the standings shake out in tiebreakers, maybe you're in the title game. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well happen. So that's our ceiling. Let's say things go south really bad. When we come back, we're going to talk about that. But if you're enjoying the show, please help us. Help us grow, rate, review, march to the pod. Find your favorite podcast platform. That's where it is. You can find us marchtothepod.podbean.com. You can find us Twitter, Facebook. Videos are going out. Things are happening a little more. You know, when the journey where I have some more me time, I'm putting some of that time into making this podcast a little bit better. Shocking.
Yeah, it's looking good.
I have time. Well, it has to, man. Do you see my face? Good Lord. Also want you to know we're part of the Conference USA Podcast Roundtable with shows covering all 12 CUSA programs starting this week, Friday and Saturday. There's going to be some shows 6 o'clock Central Time. Those will be starting. And before we come back and talk about what we really don't want to talk about, a worst case scenario, let's hear some more from our friends over at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing only uses the finest materials in the roofing business while providing an exceptional warranty. Why do they use CertainTeed products? Because they complement any appearance, provide exceptional and reliable strength, and are known for their enduring performance. Here's what Shane Sosa had to say about Eternal Roofing. Taylor and his team are amongst the highest level of professionals. They care about their customers and go above and beyond just doing the job. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539 or email taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Big thank you to our friends at Eternal Roofing. Bradley Franklin chimed in on Facebook, said, all I want for Christmas is a big, beautiful bowl game and a bowl win. All right. First, it's a good thing my son's not here. Second, I have to be careful what I say because he found this on YouTube. He found the show on YouTube and had it playing on his TV and pointed it out to me. And I was like, sweet. So, Bradley, if you believe in Santa Claus, feel free. Ask him for that big, beautiful bowl game. Okay? Just saying.
Our ceilings have them there.
I can't say anything about the status of El Santa Claus. But I'm just saying.
You know, it would be really fun, and I don't think Conference USA has, no, I don't think they do, but a bowl tie into the Hawaii Bowl, because I think that's what, Christmas Eve?
Yes, it is.
That would be a lot of fun. Christmas in Hawaii with a bowl game.
I love that. Yeah, that's always one of my favorite bowl games. All right, we're moving on here. We gave you the ceiling. Now things are going to go bad, right? Nothing goes well. The defense gets run over. The offense isn't working. Can't figure out a quarterback. Injuries galore. turnovers, everything just goes south.
We saw a little bit of this 2 years ago with how hurt you were. I mean,
We did.
playing
We
linebackers at running back. And
So let's say this is like 2 years ago, right? The same sort of situation. Hey, remember 2 years ago that offensive line was just not good. It was trash, right? So it can happen. Let's say it does. We're going to run through this. I don't think this is going to take too long when you start talking about a floor. At Western Kentucky, that's a loss from both of us there.
yeah.
UNLV, yep, you got a loss. At Hawaii, a loss. At Texas, a loss. You go into October at New Mexico State, you haven't won yet. Why are you going to win there? Everything's going south. That's a loss. Jackson State, they come in and they might be one of those you think you can win, and then
They might still be really good.
They might still be really good, or you just don't. Then UTEP comes in, and some people have talked way too much garbage, and now they got to deal with the fact that UTEP took a win over the Cats, and I think that there is a likely scenario that could happen.
Yeah.
Then Halloween turns really nightmarish against La Tech. And, you go into November, you don't have a victory yet, and you're traveling to Oregon State, so you still don't have a victory yet. You come home, you meet a Delaware team that this team, it's going to come in like we saw it 2 years ago, right? They're going to come in beat up. It's going to be tough. No matter how bad things are, that's a game the Cats have to win.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Kennesaw State game from a couple of years ago where you started 0-8. You had Kennesaw State come into you at home on a Saturday, and you won the game. That kind of feels like if it does turn into a disaster scenario, that's the game that you would circle that you should still feel pretty comfortable you can win.
I agree. That's got to be a win. At the end of this season, if that's not a win, then it's going to get rough. You got to win. You go on the road to Middle Tennessee. Do you remember the kerfluffle we talked about? Well, they didn't forget, and then they win that game. And now you're down to another loss, and you've got FIU. And if you've lost to everyone else, why would you beat FIU?
Yeah, well, in the worst case scenario, and looking at the season as a whole, I think everyone agrees probably UNLV, Texas, Oregon State are losses. I would almost throw WKU in there. That leaves you 8 other games. They're all pretty much going to be 50-50, maybe except for Delaware, and you lose all the 50-50 games, similar to what you had a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and it's always possible, right? Because there are a certain amount of games you should win. We got one. That's really what we're talking about with the floor. This is the team that the Cats have to beat. And then you've got all these others. So we're both at 1-11, 1-7 Conference USA, and you know what? We don't want to talk about that. We're not. I'm not wanting any of that into any sort of existence. That would be a just from a person who loves watching the Cats play football. It would be so heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah, and I think just to recap our ceiling and floor, you've got a big range. I mean, when people talk ceiling and floors, mine is from 1 to 6, yours is from 1 to 9. That's a pretty big gap.
That is a great point. That is something, and you're right, because I thought about that yesterday. I thought, man, usually ceiling and floor, you've got a little gap, but not like yours. You know, you've got from 6 to 1, you've got 5 games in there. Okay. I got 9-1. And I think that just exemplifies how many questions that we don't have answers to for Sam Houston for this season. I think there are considerable question marks. The defense, the offense, the quarterback, everything, right? Like it's
schedule.
Yeah. Like it's a brutal ass schedule. Everything. There's so many questions.
Yeah.
So many.
Well, I was going to say, too, I ran this analysis on last year's schedule for this team, and I think my floor was 3 wins with a ceiling of 7.
Yeah.
It just showed this schedule by itself swings at almost 2 games.
It's a lot, And then the other thing is, if we're talking everything's going well, then New Mexico State, Jacksonville State, UTEP, La Tech, Delaware, Middle Tennessee, FIU, who's scaring you in there?
Yeah, if you're on.
Yeah. Who's going to scare you if you're going pie in the sky? Who's scaring you right there?
Right.
Nobody. And that's a lot of their. Justin Hernandez on YouTube said, if we go 6-6 and make a bowl game, we'll be considered an A+ season for the fan base. I say, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jason Plotkin, hey, coming in with a defense. I don't get many of these guys. Cory's range is probably not far off. Too many questions in a very challenging month of August and September. Yeah, that's exactly what you were saying too, Ben. It is a very, very challenging first month of the season. And how they handle that is going to determine a lot.
Yeah, and how they get out of their injury-wise too.
How they get out of their injury-wise will also matter. So what do we actually think? I think this is the part where many people are waiting to hear these numbers. And you will, but first we're gonna let you hear about some Christmas lights. And if you aren't on that list already, I bet it's filling up. We're almost to September. Let's hear more about it. Here's how you're going to get your lights up there at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing is locally owned and dedicated to giving back to the community by supporting local organizations and charities. They are also the winner of Next Door's Neighborhood Faves for 2 consecutive years. And as you know, if you've listened to this podcast, Eternal Roofing is your choice for Christmas lights. They provide premium lights tailored to fit your home, season-long maintenance, and hassle-free removal. Kyle Tatum said, they're very professional and great quality, on time and clean, and really made me feel like they cared for me and my home. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
All right. Hey, before we get to our actual predictions, Ben, tell us some things, some events, initiatives, anything going on, and how these people can also help support Sam Houston athletes.
Yeah, cat-fund.com. You can sign up and become a member there. We've got our basketball golf tournament auction casino night coming up at the beginning of October, the first weekend in October, the 3rd and 4th. All the information is out there on our social medias. You can go sign up there. We'll have discount codes sent out either tonight or tomorrow to Cat Fund members, either on the forum or through email, to get 15% off for the golf tournament and into the auction dinner and casino night. So sign up, become a member, get access to different things like merch when you sign up, discounted access to events, exclusive access to content, stuff like that. So, and all the money goes back to the athletes. And that's what it's all about. So sign up, become a member today as little as $10 a month.
And, let's go. I want to get to this one here. Josh on YouTube said that he agrees with Justin. He's somewhere in the 6, 6, 7, and 5 range. The conference schedule isn't too bad. We're going to see. We're going to see. This is going to be this is an interesting one here. Justin Hernandez said, I know 10 wins is out of the question. Do you really? But if we can hit 6 with this team, I consider it just as good as last year. And about to move up another tier, convincing 4 buddies to join walk-on tier. There you go.
Yep. Every little bit counts.
Every little bit counts. Cats got to support cats. That's how this works. All right. So now it's time to find out what we truly believe is going to happen this year for the Cats. And they open up Saturday, August 23rd, 6 p.m. at Western Kentucky. I don't see that as a victory, Ben. I think that Western Kentucky is just too good. And the first game of a new coaching staff is probably the roughest game of the whole season. And so I think Western Kentucky wins that.
Yeah, it'll be a shootout. I know that much, but I don't think you're going to be able to score enough to keep up with WKU with what this defense likely looks like, and so yeah, I've got it as a loss too.
Then they come home Friday, August 29th, 8:30 p.m. Good God Almighty. I can't even say that all season long. That's what you're going to hear me cry about bedtime. UNLV at home, the Running Rebs. That's a loss. We said that in the first segment.
Yeah, it's one of the kind of 3 guaranteed games that you know that is probably a loss. So yeah, 0-2 at that point.
I agree. Then you go from Friday, you have an extra day, Saturday, September 6th, 11 p.m. at Hawaii. That means, dude, that game's not ending till 2 a.m. Central Time.
If you're lucky. I mean, these college football games can go almost 4 hours sometimes.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. They're not – college needs to get even more on the speeding up game, in my opinion. But
yeah, well, in this one, I feel like could really go along with the way both offenses are probably both going to be pretty good. A lot of 1-minute drives, score, timeout, kickoff, another timeout, that kind of thing.
Yeah, look, this is another 50-50 game. This is one of those, I think, that, 50-50, 60-40-ish. But in this case, I got to go with the home team. The Cats are traveling. It's a hard trip. That's a hard plane trip out there to Honolulu. And, I think that Hawaii wins that one.
Yeah, no, they're a really good team at home and a really bad team away from home. We saw that last year. I forget the Pac-12 or West Coast team. I think they played UCLA there and almost beat them at home, and then we beat them by 20 here. So
it's because of the travel, man.
Yeah,
and
us compared to UCLA is twice as much travel just to get to Hawaii.
Yeah. So there you go. They're going to be looking for that one. Then you go to Texas on September 20th. That's, again, play it like an NFL preseason game. So here we are, first month of the season in, and we got them both at 0-4 right now. And that's a rough start here, man.
It's probably the most brutal non-conference schedule you've had since you moved up to this level. I know the first year was a little difficult with Air Force in Houston, but I mean Texas and UNLV I think tops that combo of teams, and Oregon State when you add them in there.
Oregon State, you've got Texas and Oregon State. UNLV, I don't even put UNLV in the tier with Texas and Oregon State, right? You really you bit off a lot this year with the scheduling, your non-conference scheduling, and it's going to lead to some rough games, and we know that going in.
Yeah.
The question is these other 50-50 games, and that brings us to Conference USA opener on a Thursday night, which, by the way, that's a Thursday, October 2nd. And so Sam Houston has quite a few days off right there.
Almost 2 weeks.
Almost 2 weeks off between games after playing Texas until they played New Mexico State. And by the way, New Mexico State plays Saturday, September 27th. They're on an NFL type schedule with that one, right? That is a big difference. 8 p.m. start. Don't get me started again.
Yeah, they're not an NFL team, too. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, they're not NFL. It's going to be Cats all the way right there. They're going to come out. Also, they're going to be hungry, right? 2 weeks, you haven't won a game. You've got a month. They'll be ready, and they'll take care of the Aggies.
Yeah, it should be a win.
All right, so 1-4. Next week, Jack State at home. Jack State has a bye week.
Yep.
Before this game. And you know what? I value those. I always do. When I'm doing predictions, I value bye week games. And when I think a game is close to 50-50, teetering there, that kind of stuff pushes me over the edge. I've got the Gamecocks winning that one.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a big part of it. We saw last year with the Texas State game how Texas State came in off of, I think, 16 days of rest, and you were on a normal week, and they punched you in the mouth for about the first quarter and a half or so. And we might see something similar this year, and I don't know if this team has the leadership component that last year's team did, so it's probably a loss.
It's all part of those questions that we got to still figure out here. All right. Last half of the season. Now we know this first half is going to be brutal, right? Even if you beat Jay, the first half is brutal, man. The back half, not as brutal, maybe. You get a chance. You're playing on a Wednesday. You've got a short week. 6 p.m. You're hosting UTEP. There's a brutal schedule leading into the game for both teams. And I think Sam may have a little more manageable schedule. And they're at home. I'm gonna go Sam Houston on this one.
Yeah, I mean, and as much as people probably don't like it, I'm probably still going to go UTEP. I just think they just look so much like how we did going into last year, and I think they're that kind of team. And I mean, it's still a short week for you too. It's 2 weeks of travel back to back with Jack State and UTEP, even though they are home games. So it's probably the most 50-50 game, but or one of those really close 50-50 games. But I'm still going to go a loss.
So how much do you put into what Scotty Walden says?
What do you? In what way?
Well, talking about quarterback, right? Like,
yeah, I think both guys can play. I mean, if I forget the other guy competing with Nelson, if he's pushing him that hard, I mean, I think they're both going to be all right.
He said it's more than 2 today.
Yeah,
I have a hard time with this, man. Like, Scotty,
he also could just be saying
energy. That. I think he's a used car salesman sometimes, right? Like, you've got to treat him in that same kind of. No offense to used car salesmen. If you sell used cars, I'm not saying you're a bad person, but the stereotype, the Al Bundy, right? Like the stereotype from those shows. I was a Married with Children fan growing up. The shoe salesman with him. That stuff, I get that. But Jason Plotkin wants to know if there any update on the battle at kicker for UTEP. Dude, they've got how many Scullies on a kicker right now? Like 6.
Yeah, they had like 10 on their roster at some point.
It's crazy, man. That is crazy. But so I think I can't buy all the time into Scotty Walden. I think UTEP will be better. I do. But I just think that this is the one that Sam Houston gets that one.
Yeah, we'll see. It's truly a 50-50 game.
Those 2 games, like I believe Jason said earlier, will decide the kind of how this season goes and how, how it finishes. And speaking of that, then you've got Halloween. So you got another week off, another bye week in there. Halloween, 7 p.m., right, when all the kids are trick-or-treating. You're playing at La Tech. Sam Houston has 6 more days of rest than La Tech. La Tech's feeling heat. But you know what they did? They hit that portal pretty well. I really think that they've got a couple players that may surprise some people. And I think a road game, that's going to be a tough one for Sam Houston. I've got that one as a loss.
Yeah, and I mean, you have 6 extra days, but that means they've got 10 days, so it's not like they're coming off a 5-day week and you're coming in on 16 days kind of thing. So not a huge advantage in my opinion. And this is a team that last year you played to a 9-3 score, and Louisiana Tech had it at like the 30-yard line with a chance to win it late. Louisiana Tech's probably going to be better this year. You're on the road at Louisiana Tech. This probably isn't the team that we had last year, so it's probably a loss for me.
What a fun game that was, huh?
No, that one and the FIU one was disgusting.
Hope we don't have to see any more of those.
We're probably going to see the opposite. A lot of, like 52-42 kind of games.
Oh, Jason Plotkin has a question here. Is Cumbie still coaching the next week if he loses to Sam?
I think if that's the question, he's probably gone already.
I don't know their schedule. Let me look up their.
He's got to win at least probably 7 games to keep his job.
Yeah, I would think so. But what does his schedule look like? Just kind of off the cuff here versus Southeastern. Yeah, okay, whatever. At LSU, so that's 1-1. New Mexico State is at home. Southern Miss at home, at UTEP. That's winnable. At Kennesaw, they get WKU at home. They get Sam at home. Then they're on the road, Delaware, Washington State, and Liberty at home.
It's tough.
If let's say the season goes south for them and they lose LSU, New Mexico, the New Mexico State game, they lose that one, or UTEP, that might be, he may be gone, or Kennesaw. Any of those three, if you lose all three of those, he could be gone at Kennesaw before they even get WKU there.
Yeah, that's a tough conference schedule for them, and out of conference.
Yeah, no, that is, Sonny does not have it easy this year. Oof. All right, we head into the last month of the season and still have a chance. Right?
On your end, yeah.
Yeah, I still have a chance. You can still get bowl eligibility with 2 wins. But, oh, yeah, you go to Oregon State.
Yeah, that was, like I said, it's one of the 3 that are kind of a predetermined loss coming into this year.
Yeah, it is. So that one, and you play it right. He's going to. There's no way Phil Longo's not going to play that one correct. So then we go Saturday, November 15th, at home against Delaware. Dude, I don't care. The floor, it was a W. It's a W.
Yeah, it's funny. You go from one of the predetermined losses to like probably the one predetermined win that you can almost guarantee. Just those back-to-back is interesting.
Yeah, I agree. At Middle Tennessee, look, I just think the Cats win. I'm just saying, I think the Cats win. I think they're 4-7 at this point.
Yeah, I've got it as a loss because it's on the road, 1, and I think this is the year. It's year 2 under Derek Mason. I think they take a jump. 3rd year with the starting quarterback is Vadiato. I think he takes a jump. He's made small jumps the last 2 years. I think he makes a bigger jump this year. I think it's close, but it's probably a loss.
That is terrific analysis. I have no rebuttal.
But it's one of those 50-50 games.
The 50-50 game. And there's just something about, like, some of these teams, they find a way to lose sometimes. And Middle Tennessee a lot of times is one of those.
Yep.
And so maybe they find a way to lose that one. That brings the final game at home against FIU. And this is kind of funny here. Yeah, that's right. That's right. They play the 100 Miles of Hate week before Sam. That was another one there that their schedule for Middle Tennessee was not great. Great point there by Jason Plotkin. Home FIU, noon start to close out the season. Let me tell you, battle of first-year head coaches. I think Willie's a great coach. I think he finds a way to win this game. I know that's not quite what people want to hear. I think they find a way to win this game. I think Sam falls to end the season.
I think they win it. I've got it as a win. I think it's that depth thing. I don't know if they've got the depth built up in his first year. End of the season, they're on the road. You get them at home. Think you can score enough points to beat them. So I got it as a win, and you finish kind of similar to 2 years ago on a better note than the rest of the season was. You win 2 of your last 3.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. I could talk myself right now into a win against FIU still. And that would put them at 5.
Yeah, I've got them at 3.
I have them at 4. I have 4-8, 4-4 in conference. That FIU game could put them at 5. Now, why is that significant, Ben?
5 and 7 teams could get the APR qualifier into a bowl.
That and 4.5 is what Vegas is setting the win total at.
Right.
You know what? I end up usually once I really dive into things, I come away with an even greater appreciation for Vegas each time, and I do again.
Yeah, I'm still leaning the under, but my ceiling is 2 games over the 4. I mean, game and a half, but you're pretty clearly over the number there.
I'm right there, right? At 4.5, I'm trending lower, but I could talk myself into higher just as easy.
Right.
That's where it is. But you know, what the great part about all this is?
You don't know until we can watch it with our eyes.
None of what we said matters. If it provides some motivation for them to play better or work harder, fantastic. The great thing is they do it on the field. And if they go out and win on the field, these predictions, I'll blow it right back in our own face. Right?
What did you pick the last 2 years? So I remember what I had.
2 years ago, I had 3 wins, and they hit 3
Yep.
exactly. Last year, I was lower. I think I was 5 wins, and you were 7.
7.
This year, we've switched a little bit. I'm a little slightly more optimistic. And honestly, Benjamin, I would get checked for that. If I'm a little more optimistic than you, I would go see someone, man. It can't be a good sign.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've been 2 games off each year, 5-7, and then 7-5. So that puts it at what, 1-11 or 5-7. So lock in one of those 2.
That's the ceiling floor, right?
Yeah, it's close to what I had.
It's crazy. Hey, that's the great part. The other great part is we're talking football, and it's about to start. We've got just a week and a half left. Chris Gilstrap, thank you for watching on Facebook. He said, I don't think 6-6 is out of the question, but the dominoes have to fall right, more realistic. Oh my goodness, 4-8. Chris,
I mean, we're right around there, yeah.
I'm right there. Chris, I'm with you. 4-8, man. You and me, we're tight like that now. I'm sorry, Chris. Don't let anyone know that. Ben is working the Vegas over/under on Bearcat wins. Jason says.
I don't know how much I can move the number, but we'll see.
Well, I'm not taking a trip to Vegas, so there it is. But hey, we want to say thank you to everyone watching us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, listening, wherever you are. Thank you so much. You're the reason we do this, and also because we love talking about the Cats.
Yep.
That's a wrap for this episode of March to the Pod presented by Eternal Roofing. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with more coverage of everything Bearcat athletics and a preview of a football game. That's right. We're giving you more gambling advice. Until then, Ben, take us home.
Yeah. Longo's presser next Tuesday, podcast Wednesday. Come back, we'll preview it and see what we say. Don't want to miss it.
More free money.